it's MK, and today I am joining Danni Vee's 4K Hooray celebration hop. And today I am going to scrap lift this layout. Well, I'm going to try to. I don't do the pinks, so I stuck with neutral colors. I'm going to try to do a black and white layout with a little bit of brown into it, showcasing one of my favorite types of equipment to actually work on back when I was in the field. And I picked a pretty simple title to work with. I've got a couple of leaves that I had just cut. They are located in my shop, by the way. I'm also going to use the set of 7 gears that are also in my shop. And then from those gears, I've collected all of these little circle bits. So every time I cut out a set of gears, I've saved every single one of the little circle bits. And so I've just collected them in this little, I don't know, it's not a tray, but it's a bowl, but it's not really a bowl. Anyways, letting you guys know that I cut my photo in a circle, which I very rarely do. And then I also cut 2 more circles so I could have a pretty thick mat. And then I have this scrap of paper that looks like diamond plate. Yes. So I'm just going to quickly put my photo mats together as well as my photo. And then I'm going to lightly draw a circle. And then I'm going to trace out kind of a swirl, kind of like what she did. And then I'm going to erase it because some of it kind of went a little wonky. And I'm not really sure if the inks will cover the pencil mark or if they will resist them. Now, I know that back in the day, some product resisted lead, pencil lead. And so you couldn't erase it if it was underneath everything. But here it turns out just fine because of all the grays that I'm using. Now I'm starting off with a very fine line. And at first I thought, oh my gosh, that's too dark. I didn't want it that dark. I wanted it kind of a pastel-y. But then the more I thought about it, the more I was like, well, I wouldn't mind a little bit of dark. So I do a little bit of water first along my line, and then I squeeze out my inks, and then I use my paintbrush to try and spread them past the water line. So when I squeeze my inks into the water just carries it wherever it wants it to go. But then in order for me to get it outside of the water line, I have to help it just a little bit with my paintbrush. Now I am just working on the bits that are going to stick behind my photo. I wanted to make sure that it stuck out a little bit and not all the way. And I gave up dabbing up and getting a very light effect on this. I really did like the darker effect. I actually enjoyed painting this, you guys. I had a blast. These watercolors from Altenew are just the easiest to ever work with. What I just put on there now was their silver metallic, which is really, really cool because it doesn't paint off like a gray. It actually just, when it dries perfectly clear with a silver sparkle to it. So I wanted a little bit of sparkle going on. Now, Danni also challenged us to use 4 of her favorite styles of what to do and basically like her favorite techniques on the layout. And I have to tell you guys, I got so involved in painting this, in creating this background, that I totally forgot. And I am so sorry, Danni. It is my fault. But later, I do actually tend to remember, but it's a bunch of faux stuff, you guys. I cheat so bad, really. So I'm just going to make sure that all of this is dry because every single time that I went back to go do something on the layout, I got a fingerprint. That it's just such is life. I don't even know why I bother anymore. I should just make a layout that's all about fingerprints. I really should. Because seriously, it seems to be like one of those things that I can't avoid. Well, when I figured it out, I actually had some ink on my pinky, and that is where the fingerprint was coming from. It wasn't that it wasn't dried. So now I'm going to take some of my mica sprays that are by Tim Holtz. They're the metallic sprays. So I'm not actually changing the color of my wood veneer. I'm just giving them a metallic shine. I did not want to change the color of the wood veneer. And basically I am spraying a little bit of gold and then spraying a little bit of silver because I wanted it to be slightly mixed. And because of the warpage, I guess, of my paper towel, which I need to change out, you guys. It's seriously gross looking. Because of the warpage of it, my circles don't lay flat in the box. And so it basically tilts the image a little bit. And so all that metallic runs off to one side, which I think is pretty cool when it does that. So anyways, just picking them all out of the box. If I take them out of the box and put them on a dry napkin, they actually dry faster than staying in the box with the wet napkin, just to let you know. I did pop up my circle, my photo on some foam, and now I'm placing it on there. When I do circle photos, I have a hard time knowing if the circle is actually like straight up and down, like the photo. Is it straight up and down, or does it matter? I know it's close, but I have no clue. So I'm doing the little paper technique. You guys, I've been enjoying doing this. I tried it on my May I Scrap Lift You series, and I have just fell in love with it ever since. And so I am going to do that with this little scrap of paper. Now, my next, I do this in 3 different spots, just like Danni does. And my last one is quite large, and I didn't want to have to sit there and try to figure it out just to save a little bit of this gray paper. And so basically I just take the rest of the gray paper and glue it to the back of my page. I think I'm okay if I don't have that tiny little bit to use on another project. I think I'll be fine. I used to not be okay with using paper where I could have had a scrap. I used to not be okay with that because I always used my scraps. But now, with all the destashing that I go through and trying to figure out, no, let me back up. Basically, I see all this new product that I don't touch because I'm too busy playing with the old product, but it all excites me. So the new product, the old product, everything excites me, and I still want to play with it. And so I'm trying my hardest to merge the two, to bring old to new. So yeah. But with this piece of paper, I decided I am just going to use it up, which it is a Kaisercraft paper from one of their, it was either the Time Machine or it was Workshop 42. I don't remember, and I apologize about that. Yes, I do. So after I glue all of this on, I am actually going to start with the embellishing, and I leave the leaves white. I chose not to paint the leaves. I wanted my gears to definitely be the ones that stick out more than the leaves do, but I wanted the leaves to give that airy feeling, floating feeling, if that makes any sense. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to mimic her floral clusters, but instead of using flowers, I see gears as flowers. That's just how my brain thinks. I think that is the coolest thing ever. A little story behind that is my husband is still a mechanic, even though I am no longer a mechanic. Haven't been for years, actually. But my husband is still a mechanic, and every time he takes apart something, he always sends me a picture of what might have broke or what he knows they're going to toss into the metal bin. And he asks me, he says, do you think that we could use this in our yard? And of course we can, because it's metal and it's a gear, and I am obsessed. So I told him one day that I will actually end up having an entire machine in my yard, because that's how much gears we have. So anyways, I just pulled out some twine that I just remembered, because like I said, I forgot that she had asked us to play along with her 4 favorite, because it's celebrating her 4K subby milestone. She asked us to use her 4 favorite techniques on a scrapbook layout. Also, well, not techniques, but 4 favorite, staples that she enjoys doing. And then our other option was to scrap lift. And like I said, I had full intention of A, scrap lifting, and 2, doing the 4 things, and I totally spaced it. So of the 4 things, I definitely was not going to use puffy stickers because all my puffy stickers are cutesy and, not for this layout. But I did do ink splatters, so that is a plus. I think I did have the tiny word stickers off to the side, but again, I forgot them. The cut files are my leaves. I don't do enamel dots or any Nuvo, but I wanted to do stitching. And because I forgot, I pulled out this twine. And the twine is actually, it's like a brown twine. So I'm putting it on top of my grayish black swirl to try and help the little dots that I'm getting ready to put around them. And the dots are going to represent my enamel dots, even though they're not enamel or they're not Nuvo. They were sprayed. Does that count? So I'm doing faux stitching, you guys, because I totally forgot about it. And I really wanted the stitching to be loopy like this. And I know I'm not a very good stitcher, like at all. There was no way I was going to be able to do this. And as I was gluing them down, I kept thinking to myself, how can I stitch this down? I'm gluing it right now, but should I go through and put little X's all over the little, the curly cues and just have X's? And I thought, no, I'll ruin it. I can't do it. My stitching is horrible, you guys. It's awful. And so I decided that this is the faux that I'm going to do. So I went ahead and I just glued it down along my little swirly. So that way, I could say that I had my stitching and I could say that I did the 4 things, but I kind of sort of cheated on the 4 things. My dots aren't enamel. My stitching isn't really, or my thread isn't really stitched into the layout. My cut files are very, very tiny. And my ink splatters, you can kind of see, but not really, especially after I start just going crazy with all of these wood circles. I do end up just going to town with these wood circles. Now, off to the side where you can't see, I have all of my circles, because I'm OCD, separated from large to small. And I'm going to start with the largest ones first, because that's how I've always done anything random, which I know that doesn't make sense. If there's a pattern to it, it's not random. But when I start something random, I always start from large to small. That way I know I have room for everything, and the small bits fill in the spaces, fill in the gaps where something looks like it's missing. So basically I'm trying to represent the butterflies, but like I said, I do kind of get out of control and the circles just take a life of their own. I do have to tell you guys that right now, I absolutely love this layout. But the more that I keep adding, the more I was like, oh, did I just go too far? Oh, I'm not really sure. Let's keep going. It just keeps going, you guys. And yeah, once I get to a certain spot though, I realize that I need to put my title down. There's places where I want to put my circles, and I think, oh my gosh, I don't have any room for my title. So here in a minute, I'm going to stop gluing circles down. Here in a minute, I promise. And I'm just going to reach for my they're pre-made alpha stickers, or alpha words, I should say. They're foam. They're the little foam ones. I think they're Amy Tan. I don't remember. You guys, I'm terrible when it comes to remembering things like that. Absolutely awful. So I do have to tell you guys that this is a picture that my husband took when he was pretending to be a shovel guy. Now, he doesn't work on shovels in his job. He actually works for a drilling company, and he works on the drills. But every now and then he gets to go play shovel guy or truck guy. And so every time he does, he makes sure that he sends me a picture, and then he tries to combine what his company's name is to the company of the people that are supposed to be working on this. And we have a good laugh at it, and it just makes his day go by a little bit better when, he's asked to work on other people's equipment. It's kind of a thing, you guys. I've always enjoyed going from equipment to equipment and working on whatever is available, because no 2 days were ever the same in my industry. But for him, he absolutely loves excelling in becoming an expert, or I guess they call him a journeyman on a specific type of machinery. And he just loves knowing them inside and out. So yeah, it's just quite interesting. This one isn't I know that I'm labeling it my favorite. It's not exactly my favorite. Now, it's my favorite type of machinery, but the size of it. So this, I know, you guys, technical terms going on here. This is only a 3600 shovel over here. My favorite to work on was the 5500s, which is a little bit bigger of a model. It has 2 engines instead of this one only has 1, and it's just a monster of a machine. I do know that there are larger ones out there, but for me, my favorite one to work on was the 5500s. There were other machines that I actually enjoyed working on, but it's those ones are more critical, and I never get time. I really never get time to take the photo of, hey, wait a minute, she's broke, click. But nobody knows that she's broke unless she's torn apart. Anyways, I have documented where the 5500s were my favorite to work on, but this one I thought is absolutely perfect considering it was a single photo, and I actually happen to have this single photo sticking around. And I love the snow and how bright that machine looks in the snow. It just is, it's a gorgeous picture. My husband's actually warming up in his service truck, but when I circled the photo out, you couldn't see the hood of his service truck anymore. So yeah. Anyways, like I said, technical. You guys don't need to hear about any of that stuff. So here's where I stopped talking about what I was doing on the layout. It's typical of me. I think I do it on every layout, but I reached back into my little bowl, pulled out more of my circles because I wanted teeny tiny little ones. And so I sprayed them just because I thought that they needed to be sprayed to match the rest of them, and added more. Like I said, I just kept going. I felt like things were missing. And now I'm taking that same mica spray, that same metallic little spray, and sprinkling a little bit more of the brown. And I'm trying to figure out whether or not I like it and if it's okay. I mean, the circles, they just look too much for me. But in the end, I really, really like it. Here's a close-up. You guys can definitely see all of the metallic shimmer. Well, I think I can. I'm not sure. Maybe it's because I know where to look. But anyways, Danni, thank you so much for allowing us to help you celebrate this, amazing milestone. 4,000 people. Your work is gorgeous. So yes, I can see why you have 4,000 subscribers. But it is amazing, and I appreciate allowing us to help you share this amazing milestone. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out all the links below and who else is helping Danni celebrate this amazing event. I'll see you guys later. Bye.